name is Allison Bennett, and welcome back to Toastmasters. I'm your host today, and today joining me is Konah Hall. She is an amazing woman. She has got so many fingers and so many pots. Thank you so much, Konah, for joining me.
Thank you,
and
Allison.
First of all, tell us just a little bit about who you are, where you came from, and what you do.
Thank you, thank you. So my name, of course, Konah Hall, and I'm from Liberia. I'm a Liberian, West Africa. Sometimes you got to add that.
Yeah, because Africa's a big place.
Right, it's a big place. So West Africa, and I moved to Oregon in 2000. I moved here with my uncle and his family.
So why'd you move from Africa, where it's nice and warm,
right?
to rainy, cold Oregon?
Man, what a great question. Now, that's a good question. You know, I moved here, I would say I was fortunate, you know, to come along with my uncle and his family. They were granted, you know, asylum to come here, and I was fortunate to be a part of it. So Oregon was like chosen for us to come, you know. If I could pick which state I want to be in, Oregon.
Really? You would still pick Oregon?
Yes, because it's so
wonderful.
nice, clean, friendly people. But yeah, so I've been here for 19 years, you know, and I do radio. I am one of the radio hosts at Cable Community Radio Station, been around for so many years. So I do radio, and I also have a Facebook Live that I do. Let them say, it's like my way of reaching Africans, you know, because it's like a lot of people don't understand, you know, Facebook is, for me, coming from Africa, it's like my little home. You know, it's where I go and I find all my old friends and still can see my mother every day on Facebook, my sisters, you know, so it's just a place where for us that are so far away from home, you know, we go on there. So I do Facebook Live to connect with Africans just everywhere.
So what do you talk about on your Facebook Live?
Good question. Everything.
Like
I talk about politics. You know, I'm very much into politics, especially in my country, Liberia, you know, because Liberia is such a small town that was formed, you know, by the freed slaves that left the United States.
Okay.
So that's where they took them. When they took them to Africa, they took them to Liberia. So our capital city is actually from President Monroe, who was one of the United States presidents. So Liberia consists of, you know, the freed slaves from the United States. So the country itself started, you know, with segregation. Because when the freed slaves got there, they felt more important than the locals that were there. So very interesting. Pretty much just as they were being treated here by the whites when they went over there, they started treating the natives, you know, the same exact way. So the country, you know, was built on segregation, but yet diversity, you know. So I focus on politics because we want to rebuild. We had a war in our country for almost 20 years, civil war, destroyed a lot of things.
So I have a question. Here, Civil War was North and South, and it kind of ended up in today's kind of way, Democrats versus Republicans.
Yes.
Do you have that same type of Democrat-Republican where you're from, or is there anything that aligns along that?
You know, now we do.
Okay.
I would say Liberia is a democratic state, you know, country, I mean, so we practice freedom, you know, freedom of speech, which is, I think, a little bit too much right now. It's like too many people are practicing freedom of speech, like keep it down a little bit. But yeah, so we have the CDC. CDC is the one of actually the president in power right now, the government in power right now is a CDCN. So they are more on the democratic side.
And what does that look like?
It's good. For us Liberians, it's good because we have that kind of American way of thinking because of, you know, of the slaves that went back there.
Right.
So we believe in freedom of speech. You know, we believe the freedom to, you know, to do what we want to do. And it's going good. It's really good. Although women are still, you know, looking upon as not equal.
Okay.
You know, women violence, rape against women is such a huge problem over there. But so far, so good. It's getting there. So I try to focus on politics to, you know, let people know what's happening in Liberia and invite people to go to Liberia and invest, help rebuild the country after everything that has happened. So yeah, I talk politics, I talk lifestyle, and I interview lots of artists. My local Liberian artists from Ghana.
Oh,
And
great.
yeah, so they reach out to me and I have them on my platform, play their music, do my little dancing sometimes because I love to
it.
dance. Yeah.
Ooh, we might have to do
I
a
know,
little dance
yeah,
then if
yeah.
we had some music.
That would be that would be perfect. So yeah, that's what I do mainly. That's my focus mainly.
I know one of the hot topics that is going around this country and other countries is resilience. So how have you experienced resilience in your life? Like, do you have one or two or three quick stories about times where you've been maybe knocked down or started with nothing and you've had to like claw your way up
yeah.
or climb your way up or just
yeah.
pick yourself up
Yeah.
again?
Yeah. That's such a great question because that word is so powerful.
It is.
And it takes you such a long way if you stick to it. And I will give a story. I would say in 2010, I had a huge event at the Pioneer Square, which was actually my first event. And I was so hopeful, but yet I was so over my head,
I do
because
know this.
I didn't listen to everyone telling me, girl, for your first event, this is too much. You don't know too many people. You don't have a lot of sponsors. But I was so stubborn-minded, like, I can make it happen. We can do it.
Right.
And, we did the event, and it was just terrible. It didn't end up the way I wanted to be. So I felt so broken because we put so much money, after spending over $20,000 and you only get like $500.
Oh my.
So it's like, oh my God, I lost everything. So that broke me, to a point of just wanting to give up. I was losing faith in my community for them not supporting me as much as I wanted them to support me.
Right.
I was losing hope in my husband. I feel like he could have done more, losing hope in myself, like, oh, maybe this is not where I'm supposed to be heading.
So when you lost hope in yourself, well, let's say you're at your darkest hours now, 2 or 3 weeks later, you're still probably in a puddle on the ground, at least, because I've also done big projects that have really done well and some that haven't.
Yeah.
So that
Right.
3 or 4 weeks and you're like, okay, there's no way up. How did you actually start looking up and start your road to getting back?
Yeah, to get back up, Allison, it was difficult, and what I had to do was I had to go back home. I literally had to go back to Africa because I lost myself. I was so depressed that I needed some reassurance that you are not alone, you have families, you come from somewhere, because I just felt so broken. And I went back home. I took a 3-month break, moved back. I went back to Ghana, not Liberia, but to Ghana, because my stepdad is Ghanaian, and I grew up there. And, just hanging around my family, getting that love that I needed to see, and it got me back up. When I got back to the United States, I was ready to move forward. Yeah.
That's great. So have you had an experience where you've, again, maybe have hit rock bottom, but you didn't necessarily have your family to be able to go back to? And how did you get up from that? Because when I'm working with people who, are in really tough spots, we always say, okay, go find family, go find support.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes support isn't close by.
That's a fact.
How about you?
And I live that. I mean, that's apart from my husband, my children, my mother, sisters, all my family back home mainly. So going through lots of, downs, lots of struggles, I just try to look at the goal, the outcome. What am I trying to get out of this? What is my focus? And just seeing the end result gives me something to push forward. It's like, okay. And, being a little kid in Liberia, because the war started when I was 10. And seeing so many dead bodies, so many, gunshots and all those craziness, I always told myself that if I have the opportunity to be in a better position, it is my job to do something for my people,
There you go.
So being here, being in a country like America, that everything, it really is, opportunity here is just everywhere, and it's hard to see if you don't want to see it. It's easy to see if you really want to see it.
So what are some opportunities that you are seeing right now?
Oh, girl, let me tell you.
I want to hear some.
Being here right now,
This is a great opportunity.
Come on, girl, this is an opportunity,
Yeah.
Being like the opportunity just everywhere. For example, as a mother, I had my last child at the age of 37. Oh God, yeah, 37. And it was really hard because I was in school. I wanted to get something for myself going, and then bam, this baby comes.
Surprise!
So then surprise, and I had to stop going to school. And I went to a depression because at the age of 37, it's like, what do you want to do for your life? Do something. And this is America. I was like, let's go back to school. So what did I do? Got small education. Didn't even graduate, girl. But the education that I got was sufficient.
What did you,
Broadcast.
Broadcast, great.
Broadcast at Mahout Community College. So I just used that little knowledge. I went to cable radio station, and I gave them a proposal, and that was it. They're like, well, come on, volunteer, do this, do that. That's the opportunity I'm talking about. In Africa, you got kids that have big dreams, but they don't know if it will ever happen because we don't have the means of making it happen. But you're in a country where you can wake up in the morning and say, okay, I want to do this. I want to go to school, and I can go to, to the school, get financial aid, get all that stuff. Bam, you're in school. So these are the opportunities for someone like me as an African. When I come here, I got to use it, I got to use it. Yeah.
So that's amazing. I've worked with a lot of different youth here in the area, and from all kinds of socioeconomic groups, so high to low. And it's interesting because sometimes the youth in this country feel like there are no opportunities for them. I know. And so to hear you say, hey, you figure out what you want to do, and you find a way to go do it.
Yes.
So you were in the midst of broadcast school, and you went ahead and just went to a station and said, hey, I want to work with you.
Exactly. And that's opportunity, but it takes, again, resilience, You just cannot, you just can't stop. You got to keep going, you got to keep pushing. And yes, if anyone say America doesn't have opportunities, like, come on, what are you talking about? Opportunity everywhere, like even Facebook Live, you know? It's like opportunity. I tell my kids, take advantage. The main way to take advantage, just get some education, get education because it's affordable here, it's here.
And when you're talking about education, it doesn't necessarily mean go get a degree and get yourself into debt. Just go learn.
Just learn something, find something you want to do, and know that there are means of making that happen. If you want to be a radio presenter, you can't say, oh my God, there is no radio station that would take me. For me, my accent was my biggest challenge. I was like, people are not going to listen to me. They wouldn't understand me. And here I am talking with you, and I hope you understand me perfectly clearly.
Well, I do, and that's part of the whole Toastmasters idea. People in know Toastmasters usually for speech. I'm in several clubs where it is almost all international people, and they are in Toastmasters to perfect their speech.
So I'm at the right place.
You're at the right place, absolutely. And it's not about getting completely rid of your accent, because you want to keep who you are. You just want to be understandable.
Just want to be understandable, exactly. I want to relate. I want to understand people as much as they understand me, because going to school, that was one of my challenges, is that I couldn't clearly understand everything the teacher was saying, and I didn't want to keep raising my hands, like I didn't get this. So sometimes I would just let him go without really understanding what he just said. So this is good, I love TV Toastmaster, that we get to practice and, have people to relate to and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah. I know I grew up in a multilingual family myself, and nobody bothered to teach us any languages. So there were 3 or 4 languages, and always just kind of being thrown around. So what I got really good at is learning how to understand people without having to understand their language. I'd watch their facial expressions, and as you can see, I talk Italian is a part of our Italian and Polish and Venezuelan. So we were very expressive.
I like that you got a lot of culture in you.
I got all that. I got all that in there. And
that's
so.
Good. Yeah, I speak, because Liberia, we speak English mainly. That's the thing, we speak English. And then our, of course, Kolokwa, local languages, you know. And when I moved to Ghana, I had to learn that language as well. And now I'm in America, so I just feel like, I mean, English is what I've been learning most of my years. But in Ghana, we speak Tree, so I speak their local language Tree. And that's the only dialect I speak.
So if you have anything to say to our viewers, we do have some more time, that's great. So if you have anything to say to our viewers, be they of a different color or different, or even for the females, anybody that, or even somebody, there's some even, right now there's even some, you know, poor white guys that you don't know what they're doing. They don't know where their place is. What can you tell them about resilience and, you know, being able to get up and do the next step?
I would say just take it one day at a time. You know, take a deep breath, and it's all about believing that you are enough. You know, which is something I've fought with for a long time.
So I hear the statement. So how do you walk that out in your daily life? Like, you are enough. How can you feel that, and how do you act on that? I mean, what does that look like?
Man, looking in the mirror.
Oh yeah, I don't do that very often. Mirror me, I'm friends right now. We'll be friends later, but not today.
Say something nice to me.
Yes, that's right.
You know, I actually do. I look in the mirror and I talk to myself.
Oh, good.
You know, I try to encourage myself, because the world can be so judgmental.
Yes.
You know, and it's so quick for you to lose hope in not only people but yourself as well. Because when you cannot accomplish what you want to accomplish, you start to blame yourself, you know. So I would tell people, you know, like especially my Africans that move here, no matter what, you know, no matter the culture shock, the culture differences, we need to understand why we came here in the first place. You know, why was I excited to be on the plane heading to the United States? What was making me happy? You know, and I always stand on that, which is coming to a country where you get freedom to be whoever you want to be, you know, with nobody. Even if people judge you, you still can be that, you know.
Right. You can.
It's not like they're judging you to stop you from being what you want to be.
We have lots of people that we see all the time that be the way they want to be.
Exactly.
And the whole country judges them.
Yes,
so
exactly. But you're still moving on. You're still working. You got
Right.
So I tell people, you know, resilience, just wake up in the morning, take it one day at a time. Ask yourself, you know, where do I want to see myself today?
So I hear that, first of all, it's just choosing to be enthusiastic.
That's it.
And then I also hear you saying, who do I want to be today? Yes. Yeah. I had a friend who woke up every morning and said, who am I and what grand adventure do I want to be on today?
That's a happy woman or happy
man. Very
happy. Yeah.
And then so to choose to be in an altered state, in a happy state, or in an excited or a questioning or adventurous state, and then to ask yourself questions, and then if people like put you down or whatever, it's like that's their opinion. Or point of view. It's their point of view. It's just their interesting point of view, and it has necessarily nothing to do with you. Those are great.
You know, I love it because my oldest daughter, you know, we live in Beaverton, so they are mainly like one of the maybe 5 or 6 blacks in the school, you know. So my oldest, who's dark skinned, you know, has a lot of complications when it comes to, you know, having that with confidence.
Oh, really?
You know,
okay.
Because of what she's been through, you know, like, oh, you're too dark, your hair's to this, you're this to that. So I always try to tell her, because she's going through it. You know, she's a teenager, and I always tell her, it's okay for people. You can stop someone for for feeling the way they feel about you, because that's also their right, But you can definitely stop them from making you feel the way you feel about yourself.
Yeah, you don't have to breathe in their
thank
you don't have to breathe in their poison.
Just walk away.
Yep.
I tell my daughter, if someone tells you something you don't want to hear, you don't need to answer. If someone's, oh my God, why is your hair like this? You don't need to answer like, oh, it's because of this. No, just tell them, well, that's my hair.
Yeah.
And walk away and leave that for them to judge, So I just think we nowadays, we need to be stronger in our will. We need to be positive with ourselves, because the war is really against yourself. Mainly, it's not the person that, it's just you. So I learned, once I started believing in myself, I started loving my flaws.
There you go.
All the things about me that I hated, I have to love it now.
I'm so excited to have. Let me just try to love my flaw of flubbing up speaking.
Yes.
So I absolutely have been so excited to talk to you. I mean, I just think there's no coincidence. I think this was meant to be.
Yes, thank you.
And you have so many things that are going on. If people want to know about you and what's going on, how do they get in contact with you?
Yes, so if people want to know about me, I'm on Facebook.
Okay, and what's your Facebook?
So Facebook is Konah Hall. So Konah, Konah, and then Hall. And you can find me on Facebook. And I'm also 2 emails. I like people to reach me to my email.
Okay.
So email is Let Them Say. So LETDEMSAYY@yahoo.com.
I love it.
People can reach me to those, so Facebook or to my emails.
That's wonderful. Thank you for joining us here today at TV Toastmasters. We have so many interesting things going on here in TV Toastmasters and Toastmasters General. I hope you've had a great time, and we'll see you next time.
Welcome to an opportunity to take the next step of your professional speaking journey. I want you to be honest with yourself. Have you ever wished you were a star in a television show? Or at an event where the media is interviewing bystanders and you are wanting to be picked to give your opinion of the event? Or even in the smallest sense, you're at a sports game and secretly hope that your smiling face would appear on that big jumbo screen TV? But the jumbo screen always finds the fans with the painted faces. And you think to yourself, maybe next time. Well, what if I can offer you a chance to be on TV? Would you take it? That is what I want to offer you now. I'm Dottie Love, Associate TV Producer and Director. Toastmasters International is one of the largest organizations whose mission is to help improve your speaking skills. And District 7 is expanding your opportunities to do speaking via television. We have 4 fully equipped television studios and TV Toastmaster broadcasts to over 500,000 homes, plus a YouTube channel. Who knew? We want to invite you to take advantage of using media and television, either in front or behind the scenes. Let me share a few options that you have. First, you can be a guest on a show. Highlight your business or hobby or your community interest. Anything you're passionate about. Be a featured guest. Secondly, you can train to be a host on an ongoing TV segment. We will train you for that. Third, what about creating your own talk show? We will train you for that as well and give you access to a community media studio to do just that. Or lastly, be behind the scenes, either running a camera or editing shows. You decide which avenue is best for you, and our TV Toastmasters team will help you to navigate to get the most out of your media experience. Personally, I've done them all. I started as a guest, went to hosting, up to directing my own TV show. I don't tell you this to impress you. I tell you this to impress upon you that your personal growth with Toastmasters is directly related to what you take advantage of. And I encourage you to be bold in looking for opportunities to stretch and grow. If this intrigues you, or if you have club members who you think that might be interested in this, please contact us here at TV Toastmasters. I'm Dottie Love, and you can reach me or any of us in the TV Toastmasters family at the contact information at the bottom of the screen. You can also find us on the web. Our website is 7512.toastmastersclub.org.
Hi, I'm Deb Hart. I'd just like to share with you how appreciative I am of being able to be a TV Toastmaster host. I get to share stories within the community, have people come on the show and educate the viewers, and talk about a subject that I'm very familiar with, and that's health. I encourage you to come aboard and be a part of our TV Toastmasters Host Club. It's fun. You'll have a good time.
Have a story that others need to hear? Seeking an audience for your message? Have an experience that can transform the lives of others? Practice your message and perfect its delivery in a TV studio while creating content for regional, national, and international exposure. That's right, get seen by an ever-increasing audience. Visit TV Toastmasters.
Ken Coombs here, speaking about TV Toastmasters. As an area director, I see more value in that venue than perhaps some of you do, so I want to share that. Providing a televised voice for District 7, its clubs, and their members not only gives people a chance to come here and get a project ticked off that says speak on television, it gives contestants in an area contest or a division or a district contest at least a chance to come and practice and see what they look like. It gives people a chance to share an important message with the district, whatever that might be. So consider your next speech perhaps being on television. Not your 15 minutes of fame, but your chance to reach a broader audience.